This is the Spartan Body Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. I want to encourage you to subscribe. You can watch, maybe you're listening to this, maybe you've subscribed to the audio podcast. I want to encourage you to jump over to the YouTube channel. It's just Seth Winterhalter. And you can watch this and see my ugly face, and maybe that will inspire you more. We've got some other content up on that site that might inspire you, encourage you. So check that out. Subscribe, rate us. That always helps get the algorithms, and so other people can glean from this content as well. We really hope you're going to glean from this. Today, we're going to talk about lacking motivation. What do I do when I lack motivation, specifically with training? Now, this could be with anything. You can put these three things I'm going to talk about today into any context, but I want to talk about training because I hear this. Man, I just lack motivation to get to the gym. I lack motivation even when I'm there. And I want to kind of break that down. Three things I think help me when it comes to my motivation for training. So number one, I think it's build a habit. We lack motivation because our life kind of doesn't have routine. It doesn't have built-in rhythms. And so we need motivation to do these things. And this is where, again, I just be real mindful about the days and the times that you work out. You want this to be clockwork. It's just something that you do. It's a part of your routine. It's a part of the rhythms of your life. Training is something, and that's why you want to figure out, why do I train? Why am I doing this? Is it to get fit? Is it to lose weight? Or is it because this is the new me? I would encourage you to go to the latter, not the first. Like if you're training because, I need to work out because I need to lose weight and I'm tired of, I just think that is not a strong foundation, because training should be a part of your life. That should be who you are. You want to train until you die. Now that training may look different in different seasons, at different times, but build a habit in your life that's just something you do on a daily routine. I work out 6 days a week. I'm in the gym 6 days a week. You want to know why? Because it's a lot easier to build consistency with that when it's so frequent, right? The less days you work out, if I just want to be in the gym 3 days a week. Okay, now you're not in the gym 4 days a week, which means your habit is to not go to the gym. Your habit is to not be active. That means it's going to be a bigger hill to climb to get that gym time in because it's out of your norm. Do you understand that? A 3-day or less workout program is now not the norm of your life. If you work out 4 days or more a week, now that is the norm, and the rest days are the unnorm. So be mindful of that, because that's probably, I don't hear a lot of I lack motivation to people working out 5-6 times a week. Now, I don't think you need to be in the gym 7 days a week. In fact, I wouldn't encourage that. If you need that, maybe you need that for a season to build that habit and that rhythm, then make sure that one day is just, light walking on the treadmill or doing something, maybe some mobility work, some stretching, maybe that's a day. Just because you're like, I just want to be in there. I want to build a habit. Great. Understand it. Get after it. Build a habit. Be aware of the days and times. Now, that doesn't mean that if you only want to work 2 or 3 times a week, but then I would say then your day that you work out and the time that you work out should be consistent, because if it's all over the map, again, you've just got so many excuses now to not do it. You are going to have just a rock iron will to make that happen if it's so random and sporadic. The more random you are, the less consistent you will be, and the more failure you will encounter. Let me say it again. The more random your schedule is, and this is in regard to anything, the more random it is, the less consistent you will be, and the more failure you will encounter. So, how do you take away failure? You become consistent. How do you become consistent? By making things habitual. Same time, same channel, same location, getting after it. It's just a part of who you are. Not what you do, who you are. Boom. There's number one. Build a habit. How do I get the motivation for training? Well, habits don't need motivation. Habits are just things you do, right? So take the motivation out of it. Number two that can help with building motivation, creating motivation, is to track growth. Are you tracking your growth? Are you encouraging and celebrating the wins of where you've been? If you and I'm not saying you've got to have a notepad and track meticulously every set and every rep. I don't think that's a bad idea. Now, personally, I don't do that. I did that the first year, maybe a couple years. I can't remember how long I did that. I had a notebook with me and I tracked, right? Here's every workout. Here's every exercise. Here's how many reps I did, how many sets I did, at what weight. I did that because I knew that I was going to start out weaker than I wanted to be, and I wanted to track that. Now, for me, I have a pretty good memory. And because I worked out 6 days a week, it was easy, right, to kind of track. Like I had a really dialed in plan, so I just remembered what I was going to do. But even then, like, it's helpful to, if you really want to see growth, if you really want to have, right, the motivation to get after it and to conquer and to see substantial, or not even substantial, but measured growth, then track what you do. And so you'll have the motivation. You'll go, I want to win. I want to succeed. I want to get better. And so, but I need to know where I'm at. So, right, I can put 5 more pounds on. I can put 2.5 more pounds on. See those wins. That tracking growth also helps you plan them, because you'll know when you've plateaued. You'll know to go, I gotta do something different here so I can see growth, so I can get the motivation. Because if you're plateauing, if you start to go backwards in something, that's demotivating. And so to motivate yourself, you need to track what you're doing, so then you can adapt and grow. And that's really number 3 then. Number 1, build a habit. Number 2, track your growth. Number 3, mix it up. You track growth by having a plan, but that plan, if you use the same plan, end on end, over and over and over, same exercises, same reps, same sets, it's going to become real boring to you. And you most likely aren't going to see growth because you're going to tap out those exercises. So I would encourage you, mix it up. I like to use 6-week programs, right? I might encourage you to use 4 to 6 weeks. I think 6 weeks a better number. 4 is a little too short for me. I would go 6, maybe even 8 weeks on a program. And what I mean by a program is, right, I'm gonna do these exercises these days, and this is what I'm gonna do for 6 weeks. And then I'm gonna evaluate, because I've tracked, and I'm gonna say, hey, have I seen growth in these? Am I lifting more weight? Am I doing more reps? How am I seeing growth? And you might say, man, I've kind of tapped out, on my lat pull down. I'm at 120 pounds. I do 12 reps. I try to go up in weight. I can't, it doesn't, or I can't, maybe I don't feel the lat then. And that's the other thing too. Just because you can pull a weight doesn't mean you're pulling it effectively. And so you don't want to go up in weight and lose form or lose the mind and muscle connection. So you may say, man, I've kind of taxed out this, and maybe you're not seeing growth in it. Maybe you're like, I want to try something else to see if I can stimulate growth in that muscle. And so you may try a different variation. You may go from a lat pull down to a row, or I don't know. There's so many ways to skin the cat, as they say. The key is, are you evaluating every 6 weeks to see how am I going? Where am I growing? What other exercises might I try? Take one out, add one in, go fewer exercises, go more exercises. I mean, there's so many ways, so many opportunities. And I think that stimulates motivation. It creates motivation to go, I want to try something, right? Nothing more motivating than trying something new, seeing what else can work. And so, or you may go, the motivation may not be exercises. It may be, you may have a different focus. Like right now, I'm building my chest, so I'm working my chest out 2 times a week at least. That's a motivation for me. I want to see it grow, and in fact, I am seeing, man, this is awesome. So I want to even do some different things there to mix that up, so that I'm researching and I'm studying and I'm applying. And so, how do you create motivation? Mix things up, like adjust the plan. Make sure the plan is working. Make sure that you're not just staying to the same old thing. So, and that may, for you too, like there may be a season it's sunny out, it's summer. So I want to change up and get outside a little more. So maybe I'm only going to do gym sessions 3 days a week, and I'm going to go, swim and do something, in the water a couple days a week. That's the beauty of, unless you're becoming a specific athlete of something, a professional bodybuilder, a professional Olympic athlete, which again, none of you probably listening to this are striving for that. Maybe you are. I highly doubt it. Most of us are just normal people living normal lives. Therefore, the key is just to be active. And the key is to be active in ways, I do think there needs to be some intentionality about it, because you don't just want, if you're a runner, you don't just want to run, you also want to build muscle, because muscle is going to help with your diet. Muscle is going to help as you get older with mobility and to be able to run. And so you still want to lift some things. You still want to have some resistance training so that you can be a better runner and be a better full functioning person. But if you love running, then I want to encourage you to run, right? If you love swimming, I want to encourage you to swim. You love basketball, I want to encourage you to play basketball. That's the beauty of seasonality, to say, hey, there's different seasons, different times for different things. So that's why mixing it up and being mindful about what are you enjoying and how can we make it enjoyable, more enjoyable for you, so you'll stick with it. Again, we're talking about motivation. When you're lacking motivation, if something isn't motivating you, let's have a discussion and go, why? What about it isn't motivating? Is it frustrating because you're not seeing growth? That could be demotivating. Is it frustrating because you'd like to be doing something else that's active? Okay, well, let's figure out how to do that. This is why, again, it's good to have a coach, because it's good to be able to bounce something off and really work down to the root of the issue. What is it that's unmotivating? How can we turn that lack of motivation into a motivation, still doing the things that we should be doing, which for this topic is training. So encourage you to think about that. Hopefully that spurs some ideas for you or some concepts. If you need help with this, reach out to me. Go to SethWinterhalter.com. Go to thespartanprogram.com. Again, January is coming. Would love to have you in this program starting in January. People are jumping in now. If you jump in now, you get basically all of December for free. So would love to have you be a part of that. An easy entry gate in. Go to thespartanprogram.com and learn about it. Would love to see you transformed. Experience real transformation, meaningful transformation in 90 days. So go to the Spartan Program and check that out. Until next time.